Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. And let me just tell you, folks, thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's
Friday. Friday.
Thank God it's
Friday. 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 Friday.
Get a smile on your face. Yes. Oh, man, look, for those of you, see, some of y'all are too young to get that movie, to get Thank God It's Friday, to understand who Leatherman is, because he loves students. Anyway, I grew up watching that movie, so anyway, I had a good time. Anyway, it's Friday. We're having a good time. It's me. It's you. We're going to have a phenomenal conversation about some very, very interesting topics. And for those of you who are my female listeners, please don't get offended because we got some stuff we're going to be talking about, some differences between men and women. I encourage you to chime in. By the way, only about 16% of our audience are women. Most of y'all are guys. So I think we're going to probably agree on a lot of this. But even then, the women we're specifically talking about is going to be woke women. Well, anyway, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a great conversation. Would love to encourage you, if you are watching this program on YouTube, on Rumble, on TikTok, on Twitter, would encourage you to chime in. Let us know what you have to say. I'm looking here at your comments as we're getting them online. If I find them to be interesting, I will share them with the audience. By the way, that's if you're watching live. If you're watching 3 p.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. Eastern, or any of the time zones there in between, then you're watching us. You're watching live. So go ahead and comment. And by the way, let us know where you're chiming in from. Give us a shout out. Let us know. If possible, city and state, some cases country, because we do have some international listeners, but let us know what's up. Give us a holler, and we shall chitty chat a little bit about it. But we're going to have a great conversation today, and it's going to be fun. Unfortunately, Mike's not going to be with us today, but you know what? We'll get around that. It'll be all right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the program. And we're going to start today, just like we always do, with a quick shout out to our sponsors. We're going to start with Hitman Industries. If you are either looking to do a brand new build, or maybe you're looking to rebarrel your current rifle, start at Hitman Industries, where they have rifle and pistol caliber barrels available for you at any length available. Once again, that's Hitman Industries. You can find them at hitmanindustries.net. You've got the California Republican Assembly working behind enemy lines in order to help elect conservatives at all levels of government, from school board all the way up to President of the United States. Ronald Reagan once referred to them as the conscience of the Republican Party. Check them out right now at cragop.org. That's cragop.org. If you want to be a part of California's future today, their conservative future today, you got to join CRA. And then we've got the best in concealed carry tactical holsters available on the market. Where will you find them? That's right, at hogholsters.com. That's hogholsters.com, HAWG holsters.com. Just, by the way, when you go there, make sure you go to the... make sure you use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Make sure you get your hog holster today. And then finally, if you are a purchaser for your military unit, or maybe you have a club, or maybe you have a department that you do orders for, or just a group of folks that you do a lot of purchasing for, you want to check out uscombatgear.com, where you can find all things tactical except the gun. Folks, they have a huge selection. They have phenomenal pricing, great customer service. Once again, you got to check them out today. That's US, veteran-owned and operated. Let me make sure that I share that with you. Veteran-owned and operated, uscombatgear.com. And with that, looks like we have our good friend, someone who is going to be here with us, someone who's here with us today. And I don't know what that is going on down there. Trying to get you in here, Mike. Mike has joined us on the program, and for some reason, I didn't put it all in the right spot. And bam, there you go, Mikey. Mikey P in the house. How are we doing, my friend?
Woohoo! How are things with you, Craig? How are things in the world of Craig?
Oh, things are phenomenal in the world of Craig. Just trying to make sure our sound is all good and stuff. So for those of you who got to enjoy Mike there for a second, you got a little bit of echo. You got Mike. You got Mike. Mike. How was your Friday going thus far?
So far, so good. All tasks accomplished up until this point. So we'll see if we can continue that streak today.
Okay. Well, since you are here now, you can do our final talk about our final supporter sponsor, yada yada yada, who is sponsoring your current location.
That's right. Lion Arms USA, lionarmsusa.com. You can get anything you want from Lion Arms. Custom firearms, custom ARs. Go down, take a look at their website, lionarmsusa.com. Whatever you see, look up their phone number, give him a call. He's going to give you at least 15% off. Probably 15 to 20%, depending on what he's got in stock. So you're going to get a nice little discount.
Yes, you will get a nice discount, and you will get a quality firearm. Folks, they ain't lying at Lion Arms.
They ain't lying and lying on.
So that's what I need to do. We need to do a commercial specifically for Lion Arms with that. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
That is a movie that surpasses all culture. It's a cultural reference that expands beyond all cultures. If you do not know that reference, I don't know what to tell you. You live in a shoe.
Especially here on Friday, right? You should know that reference.
On Friday, of all places, Mike, once again, with the phenomenal movie reference.
There you go, baby.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, looks like we've got a couple of folks here. We've got Guns and Son from Denellen, Florida, in the house. We've also got Mr. Kevin Sona giving us a holler, folks. Kevin Sona, by the way, was a phenomenal host for us out at 2A Freedom Fest. We appreciate you all tuning in. Look forward to hearing more from y'all during the show. And y'all are going to find this first story incredibly interesting. And I think anyway, you're going to find it really interesting. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First of all, I think it's pretty much a given that liberalism in general is pretty much, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a psychological disorder. It really is. It is a mental illness. We know this. Well, there is a writer over at Substack. And by the way, if you do not get the majority of your news, a lot of your news from Substack, you are missing it. But there's a writer over there named Amy Gallagher who wrote a piece that I found to be very, very interesting and quite frankly explained a whole lot regarding the growth and depth of wokeism and liberalism. Now, you might have known you might remember because we've talked about this. In society lately, for some reason, there seems to be this big, huge divide, especially among younger people, in that males are tending to become more conservative and women are tending to become, or females are tending to become more liberal, right? They're tending to split along those lines. In fact, one of the only really segments that actually grew in support or against Donald Trump, in opposition to Donald Trump, and for Democrats was college-educated women. It was the only group that grew. Every other group, even black folks, tripled their support of Donald Trump. Meaning, while an overwhelming majority still voted for the Democrat, whoever the Democrat is, 3 times as many actually wound up voting for Donald Trump. Well, in this particular piece, they're talking about women and wokeness. And it says, why women love woke. And let me read a little bit of this to you. It says, 2 graphs. Let me let you see the 2 graphs. 2 graphs, one showing the growing ideological gap between men and women, and the other showing that politically left-leaning women are disproportionately more likely to have a mental health condition. In other words, women have become more politically radical and more psychologically unstable. What came first? Did woke drive women mad, or are mad women woke? Mental illness is now the leading cause of disability in the West and is responsible for 30 to 40% of chronic sick leave. Specifically, it is women and girls who are suffering the most. While rates of mental illness are rising for both men and women, women are 3 times more likely to experience mental health problems than men. They are also twice as likely to be diagnosed with anxiety and depression than men. Rates of self-harm among females have tripled in the last 30 years, and the rates of suicidality have doubled. Now, here, this is from 2020, and this is a Pew Research thing. And here's what's funny. If you look at it, it says here, it says from Pew 2020, has a doctor or mental health provider ever told you that you have a mental condition, right? Notice here, just especially, it's much higher among younger people than older people, but notice the huge difference between men and women. First of all, in all areas, and women, yes, conservative women, you are more likely to have a mental health condition, or you'd be asked if you have one. I'm assuming if your doctor asks you if you have one, it's because they suspect you do. But that having been said, as you get older, and this is for the women of our generation, it's a little bit closer, but notice how this huge number, how it used to be a lot lower, or used to be almost comparable with conservatives. The older you get, the less likely as a woman you are to have a mental condition. But among the young ones, among 18 to 29, huge. So now we have confirmed it. Not only is it a mental health, not only is it a mental illness, but it's one that disproportionately affects women. It is a sexist mental illness.
Craig, do you know how you could tell if a woman is going to have a mental illness?
I'm going to let you tell that one.
Weren't you paying attention? I said it was a woman.
Exactly. I wasn't going to go there, but I knew where it was going.
Yeah, come on, guys. We all know what we're talking about, right? They may not be in the room with you, so it's okay. You can go ahead and admit it. You know.
Okay, well, Guns and Son said, hey, it says, seriously, women live with us, so I have zero doubts in this study. We live with them. Let's be clear, dude. We live with them.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Like, and it's like the great Norm Peterson said, right? Women can't live with them past the beer nuts.
But you know what's funny is, and I think this to a large degree is adding to the divide, because once again, young men are getting more conservative, young women are getting more woke, and at the same time, young people are having less sex, they are less likely to get married, and they're having fewer children. And I think a huge part of that has to do with their politics. I mean, it has to do with this. In particular, you have young women who are basically like shaving their heads saying, I'll never marry somebody who's conservative.
And we thank you for that. We thank you for that.
No, there are a lot of guys who will date a girl, just because they don't care if she's conservative or liberal. They'll date her just because.
And maybe that's a California thing. I don't know. I don't say.
Wow. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm not going to go there. I know young men generally tend. Well, I guess there's a difference between dating and being there on a date. Can you hear me now? Seems like Mr. Pilwarski has lost my sound. I still have sound, sir. So maybe why don't you do this? Why don't you go ahead and log out, log back in, and we'll bring you back up. But folks, it's a serious issue here, because here's the thing: we're already right now not at replacement rate. We're significantly below replacement rate, which means we need our young men and our young women to actually, get along. We need them to actually get together. We need them to actually procreate. And between the lack of socialization that many young people have because of social media now, and then you put political divides in there, or in this case, could be a mental health divide in there. uh, you don't know. I mean, they're not getting together. And as a result, we're not having families. We got to fix that. We've got to find a way to fix that. We got to try and find a way to get young people back together, doing their thing, right? We've got to find a way. We've got to find a way to get that done. Okay, I think it looks like you got my sound now.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, turns out it was on my end, dude. I was looking at a setting, and for some reason, anyway, it was my fault. Blame the black guy.
I got it. I believe it.
Good stuff. But anyway, I was just noting that, I mean, yes, this is it's a funny and interesting story. It's also, once again, very interesting and explains a lot, but it's something we've got to figure out because, right now you got young men and young women aren't getting together. They aren't getting married. They aren't having babies. And we're not going to continue on the species if we keep going this way.
Now, is that, you think, because of their mental illness or having more to do with the post-COVID lifestyle of the youth?
Well, this is not a new trend. This is something that's been going on for a while. That the downward trend in terms of procreation has been something that's been happening for a while. It's just taken a bigger jump. A lot of it has to do with, once again, social media. A lot of it has to do with, in my opinion, the plethora of technology and pornography that's available. Young men are a lot less likely to feel like they have to go and, I don't know, or at least they're a lot less likely to feel like they have to put up with things that they dislike about the female species. That's what some are arguing. I think there's a lot of stuff involved in it. And if they, for example, are able to come out with, AI robotic sex robots, female robots that do whatever you want, that's not going to improve the situation at all.
Did you say sex robots?
I did say sex robots, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Believe it or not, that is a thing. That could be a thing.
Okay. Keep us up to date on that, will you?
I will most definitely keep you up to date on that. In any case, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. Let's see here. I don't know how many of y'all have been. Well, we've all been wondering what is going on with the Epstein files, right? There's all this big hubbubaloo. They were going to be releasing the Epstein files. In fact, Pam Bondi, this is her on Primetime, on Jesse Waters Primetime, talking about the release and what she's going to be releasing with the Epstein files.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well, we'll
along
look
with
for
his
that.
co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for
He
sure.
sure did.
Well, as you know, it turns out to be what was released today was largely information that was, or yesterday was largely stuff that had already been released to the public. There weren't a lot, if any, new real names. There wasn't anything really newsworthy. It was basically a 200-page binder. None of the information, none of the tapes, none of transcripts from the tapes or definition statement. It was literally a big nothing burger. Was a big fat nothing burger was released, and now Pam Bondi is basically saying, what happened? She literally sent a letter to FBI Director Patel and said, I think some of the folks there in your office are hiding stuff because that she got a call from a whistleblower in the New York FBI office who said that there was a bunch of stuff that they had that did not get released or did not get sent to the Attorney General's office. So the Patel or folks who work for him, they got some splaining to do.
Yeah, somebody's getting fired. Somebody will be home collecting the unemployment check for the next couple months. Somebody's getting fired over that.
Yeah. Well, and it's, once again, the question is, where is all this stuff? Because it's been like 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the question is, where are the tapes? Because we know that supposedly there were tapes. Where are they? There were supposedly thousands of documents. I'm assuming that thousands of documents would be more than 200 pages. The thing I'm wondering is, why did Pam Bondi go on and say, why make a big deal out of this? Did she not realize what was actually in the stuff that she was going to be releasing?
I'm sure she did. This sounds like you said, there was somebody loyal to the left that intercepted the release of some of these documents.
Well, but that means she has stuff, right? Because I'm assuming she released whatever she had. The question is, where's the other stuff?
Well, again, it sounds like whoever she sent it down and directed it to be distributed didn't do the job completely.
What she's saying is that's all she had. In other words, it's not like she's like, okay, let's put this stuff out. Saying that this is all she had. Well, if that's all you had, did you not know that was what was already out there?
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. That's why but she clearly, first of all, is trying to throw, or not trying to throw, she's trying to throw blame off of herself. I'm guessing what happened was she was not as familiar with what had already been released and what the public already knew, and thought she had, because if you listen to what she said, they pretty much released what she said. It's names, it's flight logs, stuff like that. It wasn't really, she didn't say anything about tapes. She didn't say anything about thousands of documents. She just wanted to, and I'm guessing what they were going through was redacting the names of the victims who were in the flight logs and in the journals.
Right.
I think she trusted someone else's accounting is what I really think it is. She trusted somebody else who told her, "Oh yeah, no, this is there," and it didn't really pan out. She needs to talk to her own folks because somebody in her office messed up.
Yep. I'm sure she'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, because anyway, with that, I'm just hoping that the rest of that stuff still exists. That's the big thing right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. I think it is. It's just going to be a matter of finding it.
Yeah, and this is the thing that's frustrating about it is this is something that people wanted to see, but the fact that at least this first time it didn't have what people were expecting. The challenge with it is that it now is like, well, it's a distraction now, right? It's a news cycle where this is going to be what the media, who doesn't really want to talk about the good things Trump is doing, they're going to talk about this instead of, once again, the good things that Trump is doing. And it's important to try and avoid distractions if you can.
Yep. Very much so.
Anyway, moving right along, the Department of Education, DOE, the national DOE, the one that's on its way out. Well, their website will now allow individuals to report woke schools. That's right, as being reported by Breitbart News. Let me pull that puppy up right here. Trump's Department of Ed creates End DEI portal to report schools discriminating practices. The U.S. Department of Education launched a public portal on Thursday for parents, students, teachers, and communities to submit reports of sex and race-based discrimination in public K-12 schools. The portal is called End DEI Portal and allows the submission of of an email address, the name of the student's school or district, and a text box with 450-word limit detailing concerns and practices. Schools should be focused on learning. The top of the portal page reads, quote, "The U.S. Department of Education is committed to ensuring all students have access to meaningful learning free of divisive ideologies and indoctrination," the portal description states. This submission form is an outlet for students, parents, teachers, and broader community to report illegal discriminatory practices in institutions of learning. And, quite frankly, this is something that, quite frankly, always should have existed. The problem is that what DEI had allowed was for them to, it basically allowed for discrimination if you were a straight, white, Christian male. That's what it allowed for. But if you were any of the other protected classes, well, then you were allowed to discriminate to anybody else who was lower on the DEI totem pole than you.
Right. This is great news. This should hopefully streamline the elimination of schools that are refusing to get rid of their DEI practices. So this should open up very well. And we know from what Pam Bondi has said concerning sanctuary cities this week that they could be facing no funding, if they continue to do so.
Well, and I'll tell you, between the Department of Education, and then you've got Harmeet Dillon over in the Department of Civil Rights, heading over the Department of Civil Rights in the DOJ. Local municipalities and school districts are going to be in a lot of trouble. They're going to have to be on their toes, and what they're going to have to do if they want to continue these things, they're going to have to try and find a way to continue discrimination.
That's right. And many of them will work hard at it.
Yes, they will. And the other thing is that and this is the thing that I keep trying to tell people, is that there are a lot of people right now who are pushing things that are not DEI, right? That are like, talking about, cultural history, stuff like that. And you have a lot of people who are ending those programs, but they're ending it in actually not so much in violation of the order, but they're doing it as a form of malicious compliance. In other words, it's kind of like saying, well, we're going to ban the Bible because we don't want books that are biased against religion. In other words, they're saying what's the word I'm looking for? In other words, we're going to over comply in a way that is both obnoxious and malicious in order to make the president's policy look bad.
Yeah, and we assumed this was going to happen. We know that they were going to, overreact to a certain point to make a spectacle of themselves.
Exactly. So anyway, nobody trusts y'all on the left. They really don't. But in the end, here's the thing, and what's funny about when I look at these issues, when I look at this issue, this is, quite frankly, it's a 70-40 issue. 70% of the people. They want people hired based on merit. They want the best person for the job. They want diversity, but they don't want a fake diversity where we hire people who are less qualified. What they want to do is make sure that people have an equal opportunity to compete for opportunities. And I don't know anybody, right, left, conservative, liberal, who disagrees with that. Well, let me clarify. I do know a bunch of liberals who don't want equal competition. They want a leg up.
Correct.
Based on the color of their skin.
Or their freckles.
Well, you being from Florida, you're kind of tan. I'm hoping I might have a hard time against you because, that Florida tan.
All the little spots I have.
All the little spots. Yes, gotta love them little spots. All right, moving right along. Safer Act protects 2A rights of 18 to 20-year-olds. Our good friend and Second Amendment advocate, and I believe we can truly say that Mr. Massey is an advocate, has introduced a measure that will protect the 2A rights of young adults. Massey moves to protect 2A rights of young young adults with the SAFER Act. This is being reported by Cam Edwards over at Bearing Arms. The push to block adults under the age of 21 from accessing their right to keep and bear arms is playing out in courtrooms and state houses across the country. And now, Republican Representative Thomas Massie of Kentucky is renewing his fight on Capitol Hill as well. On Thursday, Massie announced the reintroduction of the SAFER Act, which would recognize the right of under 21s to purchase a handgun at retail. And now, by the way, this is an expansion, quite frankly, of the way in which it's been, because federally, you could purchase a long gun, but not a handgun. This would actually allow, and I'm assuming if you can purchase a handgun, it would also allow you, well, it's not illegal federally to purchase a long gun. So they don't need that necessarily there. Anyway, I just see this as a positive move. Once again, to protect the rights of all adults.
Yeah, and this will give equity to all states. What their policies are concerning sales of firearms. And again, this is sales from an FFL, from a licensed dealer. In most states now, you could possess or purchase as long as it's not through a dealer and still be 18 to 20 years old. But this will make it uniform throughout the country. I know here in Florida, that's Representative Monique Miller has just introduced some legislation to restore the rights of 18 to 20-year-olds to purchase long guns in Florida. But now, if Thomas Massie's goes through, this will set forth the standard that 18 to 20-year-olds can purchase handguns and long guns through the dealer.
I'm just still trying to figure out why. So an 18-year-old, they believe that a 12-year-old can decide whether or not they can have their genitals mutilated and their body parts removed, but they can't exercise their right to keep and bear arms, a constitutionally enumerated right. An adult. Not they. When I say they, I don't mean 12-year-olds, but an adult can't make a decision or can't exercise their constitutional right.
Well, Craig, you made the observation earlier in the program. It's 2 words: mental illness. Mental
illness. Wokeism is a mental illness, and it disproportionately affects women. Sorry, y'all. Maybe we got to. Is there a pill for that?
I don't know.
Anyway, we have to figure that out. Talk to Fauci, man. Fauci knows he's the pill doctor. He knows he can work with Pfizer and them to try and come up with a vaccine for wokeness. Of course, it'll probably turn your hair green or purple or change your gender, but
yes, actually, I think Fauci said he's all for the purchase of 18 to 20-year-olds to purchase firearms as long as they're wearing a mask and stand 6 feet apart.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go ahead and move on now to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. We've got some really, really cool parting shots here today. This first one, if you know Bill Maher and you know Stephen A. Smith, Bill Maher obviously is a left-wing liberal, but a classic liberal who has been speaking out against the, not so much against wokeness. Kind of against wokeness, not so much against liberalism or progressivism. Anyway, but is especially when it comes to the lack of freedom of speech for folks. And Stephen A. Smith, on his show, on Bill Maher's show, he actually came up with a very, very interesting revelation here that I think y'all are going to enjoy hearing.
Here's the deal. The man was impeached twice. He was convicted on 34 felony counts. And the American people still said, he's closer to normal than what we see.
Exactly.
Left. That's what they're saying. He's closer to normal. Why? Because something that pertains, when you talk about the transgender community, for example, and you're talking about the issues that pertain to less than 1% of the population, the Democratic Party came across as if that was a priority more so than the other issues. And so he comes into office. Now you're talking about childbirth, citizenship, and what have you. He knows that's not going to pass the mustard, but he knows that he made that promise. So when he shows up week 1 on Capitol Hill and he says, this is what we're going to do through an executive order, even though it's going to be shot down through the courts and what have you, he's saying, I kept my promise. A lot of other things that he's going to point to that he's going to try to do. I kept my promise. Then you turn around and you look at the left and you say, what promises did you keep? Now, you might know the answer to that. I'm certainly not questioning your knowledge about that at all. What I'm saying is what resonated with the voter. What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf. They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home, and that man is back into the White House, and they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about, look at it, this is the latest, look at him, here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do. He promised you he was going to do these things, and he walked into office week 1, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues. Were they talking about that during the campaign? Hell no.
Mic drop.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect.
Well, and that's the thing is as has been commented, he is doing exactly what he said he would do. Even the left recognizes that. And that's kind of rare for a politician, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. Listen, as we said before, he's done more in the last month than the last guy did in 4 years, right?
Pretty much. And now this next video here, and I think this next video really speaks to a lot of how a lot of people feel who actually had a perspective or a belief about who Donald Trump was from a distance, and when they got to deal with him personally and interact with him personally, he completely blew their minds. Check this out.
I've got an issue with you, and and when you gave me this opportunity, first of all, thank you for coming on the Gutfeld show. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a good show.
And I actually owe you an apology before we start. I've been very critical about how you fight all through the campaigns. I voted for you because I like policy. I didn't know you as a man. And I think when you don't understand what a man fights for, you can get lost, especially with all the noise we're seeing from fake news, et cetera, who created these pictures from you. So Gutfeld show's over. Cameras are off. We go backstage, and I expected you to be like every politician or anybody I've ever celebrity I've bodyguarded for, and you met my family, and you talked to my daughter. My daughter is 10 years old. Her name's Georgie. You guys talked for 20 minutes. If nobody knew, you could have been her grandfather, and you were talking about her horses and her dreams. And I was sitting there, and I was like, I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight. You're a family man.
I am. Well, I am.
You're a father.
And your daughter's a gorgeous, really, and your wife, the whole thing. I mean, you have got some setup, I'll tell you. But your family's great, and you're great, and you've really done something, and you've captured a certain spirit. You know, a friend of mine who's very smart, he's also a very big guy. He said, because I'm big and strong, people think I'm not the smartest guy.
Oh, I know.
Okay? You are a really smart guy. And I...
Anyway, I just, the YouTube and Twitter are full of video examples of people either talking to Trump and saying something like that, or just talking about Donald Trump and saying stuff like that, and talking about stuff that he's done that he hasn't bragged about, because there's a lot of stuff he does that he brags about, but there's a lot of stuff how he helps people. He doesn't go out and brag a lot about it. He doesn't talk about the money that he gives away, the way he helps entrepreneurs and helps people in need. He doesn't brag about that stuff.
No, he's just a genuine guy, not looking for credit.
Exactly. He just wants to help. He figures, I got it.
Yep.
You need it. I will help. He's not, well, the government has it. I'm going to take it from the people who pay into the tax coffers and give it to people, who just want to run a government program. And he doesn't, by the way, want to see our money wasted, right? He knows how hard he works for his money. He knows how hard we work for ours. And he wants to make sure that money's not wasted.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Now, the other thing he doesn't brag about is his musical talent. And this song right here, I think, will reveal some of the successes that Mr. Trump is having in the musical realm.
The Donald Trump dance has become an absolute phenomenon.
It's weird. It's ridiculous.
Like they're doing that stupid dance he does. Just stop it.
Alright, stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image of me that you're used to. I look money, a king bee making honey, see? Deep state, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round, I'm the new sheriff in town. All my people rise up and stand your ground. Now drink up all the Diet Coke you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself. My name is Trump D. I like my mashed potatoes lumpy. Fake news, oh how I like to punk thee. That little sniper on the slope tin. He took a shot but he missed me. I don't fall, y'all, I'm like the ever ready bunny. Still going strong and spunky. So put on your big boy pants. Come on, let's do the dance.
The Trumpy dance is your chance to do the Trump.
Come on, do the Trumpty Trump. Come on and do the Trumpty Trump. Check me out, y'all. We do the Trumpty Trump. Just watch me do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah. Do you know what I'm doing? We do the Trumpty Trump. Come on, everybody do the Trumpty Trump. It's time to do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah. My favorite dish is a double Big Mac, cause I find it quite delicious. I ate up all your fries cause it's scrumptious. Hey yo, my squirrel, Peanut, are you listening? Yeah, they took you out like a rat. Why they treat you like that? It never would've happened, not with me. And yeah, safe to assume the communist agenda gonna end up in a tomb. Whoa, crazies, I always really phase thee. You never catch me cause you're just too lazy. Now join me and my homie fans, cause this is how we do the dance.
Trumpy dance is your chance to do the Trump.
Come on, do the Trumpty Trump. Come on and do the Trumpty Trump. Check me out, y'all. We do the Trumpty Trump. Just watch me do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah. Do you know what I'm doing? We do the Trumpty Trump. Come on, everybody do the Trumpty Trump. It's time to do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah. Black people do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah. Do the Trumpty Trump. White people do the Trumpty Trump. Come on and do the Trumpty Trump. Brown people do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah. Do the Trumpty Trump. All the Asians do the Trumpty Trump. It's time to do the Trumpty Trump. All the people do the Trumpty Trump. Everybody do the Trumpty Trump.
Doesn't he know any other steps besides this?
This should freak everybody out.
Come on, Craig, do it. Do the Trumpty Trump.
Gotta do the Trumpty Trump. Wow. Okay. I saw that video and I was like, okay, why is this? Why are there not news stories about this thing? This video is phenomenal.
This video might bring music back to MTV, Craig.
It might bring music back to MTV. You mean MAGA TV?
Yes, exactly right.
It will make MTV. He'll put the MAGA in MTV. There you go.
There you go.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, folks, it's been a phenomenal show. We very much appreciate y'all tuning in. But before we go, we got one more thing we got to do. That's right. We got one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get your AR barrels in pistol and rifle caliber any length you desire. Get on over to hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting that good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. You want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, military, law enforcement, whatever it is, get on over to uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun. And of course, lionarmsusa.com, lionarmsusa.com. Check out their website, find something you like, give them a call and get 15% off. Tell them you saw us on the rundown.
That's right, folks. Go there, go to their websites, check them out today, spend some cash with them, and tell them that the guys over at the Rundown sent you. Well, that's going to be it for today's show. That's going to be it for the week. We're going to go, and I am going to do the Trump. I'm going to be playing that video while I'm hanging out after the show. So anyway, y'all have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, make sure to send a few rounds down range. Not at me, but for me. Y'all take care.